Striking bus drivers have accused Putco of threatening workers. They've been on an unprotected strike since last week. They want a 6% wage increase. They were offered 3%. At least 1,000 employees face being fired for participating in the strike. In fact, those dismissal notices have already been issued. Drivers have been protesting outside one of the bus company's head offices on New Canada Road. They say they won't back down on their demands. eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones is on the scene. He joins us now. Pule, thank you so much for joining us. What can bus passengers expect tomorrow? Will their rides be available?
Well, good evening, Sally, and what I can tell you is that the services, Putco services rather, will continue to be suspended. We have gotten, of course, information while getting on the ground that the disgruntled bus drivers who have embarked on this unprotected strike will continue again tomorrow with the strike until their grievances are met by the management of Putco. Perhaps, maybe let me just bring in one of the bus drivers here, Baba Msizi. Thank you very much for joining us on eNCA, Baba. Maybe let's just start off by saying management had said that you must submit representations and explaining why you shouldn't be dismissed. Is this something you've done so far?
Ngiyabonga baba umsomi lokhulumayo idismissal asinankinga nayo uma ngabe umqhashi seyicabangile ukuthi ufuna ukusinikeza kodwa ke akasinikeze sesinikile imali zethu ngoba lezi imali akusizi imali esikweletayo kumele siyisebenze kusasa khona namhlanje sibizela amaphoyisa sadutshulwa sidutshulela imali esesiyisebenzile ukubane kuthiwa mhlawumbe imali ezongena kusasa sifostelela ukuthi asifakele u6% kusasa ngenkani bekuzoba right sidutshule sibulawele ukuthi sifostelela ukuthi sibhadale kodwa kwanamhlanje sidutshulele into ka2020 so namanje sithi uma ngabe engayizwa lezi imfuno zethu sizoqhubeka nalento esiyenzayo nakusasa sizovukela khona until aze ayivume if akayivumi sizoyivala iBRT ngoba iPutco iyabenefita kuBRT sizoyivala iLimbro Park head office kuzokwenzeka lokho kwenzeke la ePutco
lamabhasi weriyavaya ngisho
lamabhasi eriyavaya angaphansi kwakhe naye ngoba yena uyahle ezethi ingana zidle sizoyivala nayo futhi.
Asikhulume ngale mali yese 2020 nithi azange balibhadali le salary increment dating back from 2020.
Imali ka2020 umlungu usifakele i6% increase after esifakelile wabuyashintsha wathi no thina kasifakeli ufakela bona oBRT lama companies akhe amanye amancane angaphansi kwethu abasebenzela uPutco ithina kodwa lamanye ama company angaphansi kwakhe uyawafakela uma kwenzeka izinto ezethi ingana zidli ezala amanye ama companies yakhe so manje ibonus yakhona siyitholanga increase asiyitholanga manje sifuna increase ne-birthday kusuka 2020 until manje 2022.
You've been striking for this last couple of days. Management uthina azange akhulume nani ukuthi ningayisebenzisa kanjani le ndaba leyo o lingenza kanjani ukuthi niqhubeke nisebenze la ekhaya.
Management uthe if asayini lama letter sinike wona izola ama dismissal nani kusasa sizothola ukugcina ama dismissal silinde wona kodwa sizoqhubeka until kuze kube sekugcineni kuze kuba siyayithola imali yethu. Ngivuka mina endlini ngiphuma ngo3 o'clock ngifike endlini ngo9 o'clock ingane zami azingazi even ezincane azingazi unkosikazi wami utshela ukuthi mina ngidla imali nefe bezala eGoli kodwa ngingadla imali ngifuna imali yami mina kuphela.
Bathi le strike le unprotected khona iunion enisebenzisanayo ukuthi banikhulume nabelungu lapha ekhaya.
Ilungile ama union sonke sikuwo kodwa manje siphumile kuwo ngoba ahlulekile ukuyaphambili ngendlela yethu sizothathela thina isinqumo singabasebenzi ukuthi sifuna imali yethu ayaziyo umqashi sifuna imali yethu kuphela.
Sally, that's just one of the bus drivers saying they're quite disappointed with the treatment they're getting from management here, saying at some particular point in 2020 they were given salary increments of about 6%. That move was then retracted and they don't mind signing the dismissal letters. However, they still want the outstanding back pay, saying that they will be continuing with the unprotected strike tomorrow. But let me just now introduce the Putco spokesperson Lindo Guthathulu just to give us clarity around the dismissal letters. Lindo, thank you very much for making time for us this evening. Now, Ubaba says they will be receiving second dismissal letters tomorrow. As management, what's on the cards right now? What is the latest?
Well, look, the process of these dismissal notices was to say that they would have until today at 1700 hours, end of business, to actually submit representations in terms of why they should not be fired by the company. Unfortunately, that time has lapsed, and what we understand at this stage is that there are those that have submitted those representations, but we also understand that there are those that are still adamant that they are willing to actually be sacked by the company, but what they are calling for is that 6% increment as well as bonuses from 2020. Now, it's a matter that we've explained quite extensively to say that there had been exemptions that we applied for as a company, but nonetheless that matter is before the Labour Court, and as a company you can't move and say you are paying or you are not paying until the Labour Court actually rules on that matter. So that is as far as things stand. Yes, throughout this period of time from here, we are going to be working around the clock throughout the night to tally up all of those representations that have been made to us. The considerations will be made in terms of who will be terminated and who won't be terminated based on what has been submitted, and that merit in terms of those who have not submitted, unfortunately they wouldn't have it. But we are expecting that tomorrow we will be having a final list of those that will be terminated from the company, who will no longer be in the employ of the company.
So the hope lies in some of these representations that have been submitted by the bus drivers, of course? Not
necessarily that the hope lies in that. We are just following due process in terms of saying we are dismissing people. It is an unprecedented action, as you have seen. There was no notice, so an illegal strike. We are following those processes to say that we are not going to just dismiss them. We are still giving them a final opportunity in terms of them explaining, because you'd understand that some people would have said, I was afraid to come to work because of the strike. I was afraid that I might be victimized. So as a company, we are saying that those people that might be left through the cracks, we're giving them an opportunity as well to say exactly why they were not at work when they were expected to be at work. And that is the process that we are employing just towards the end as we tally up in terms of the numbers of those that will be terminated.
Let's speak about security, Lindo. You see how this unprotected strike has ended up. They're now threatening to target like BRT facilities such as the Rea Vaya buses, which are the alternatives that some of the commuters have resolved to. What does this mean right now? Are you beefing up security? Is law enforcement going to deploy more SAPS members to ensure stability in this area?
I wouldn't necessarily want to speak in terms of other BRT companies, your Rea Vayas and all of that. I'm hired as a Putco spokesperson, so I'll just speak about things that are limited to this area. But I can say that we've seen a lot of disruption to our services, a lot of demonstrations of such a nature, where burning of tires and stopping of our workers who are not on strike from coming into some of the BU's business units. But what we are saying is that after we finish this process, we're expecting the law to take its course. From our side as well, we have beefed up security as far as protecting our buses and our infrastructure is concerned. But we are saying that the law must prevail in terms of other criminal activities that might take place. And this is one of those activities where we said we went to the court, we got an interdict. It was clear that this is an illegal strike. So any illegal undertaking will have to be met with by the law, and the law enforcement authorities know exactly how to do that. We will leave it to them and the coordination that they will get from our private security.
So how do we get buses on the road if they fire everyone?
Look, we didn't fire everyone. We must say that there are employees that are still coming to our workplace. That is why we've been saying that some of them have been blocked from entering our facilities. This process will inform us as to how many people we still have left after we terminate or issue that list of people that need to be terminated, and then we'll be having a list really in terms of what is it that we are lacking as far as operating fully. Then we'll be putting in place some of the processes that we need to actually get back to normal services. So that is the issue right now, but at the behest of it is just to make sure that we know exactly who is in the employ of the company and who is not. After that particular point in time, we'll then be able to come up with strategies of how to move forward.
And surely this must have had a financial knock-on effect on the company as well?
Financial knock-on effect definitely on the company. We've not been operating for about 6-7 days since the 1st of September. Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers right now because it's an ongoing thing, you know, and on a daily basis you'll find that here we are able to operate and then they disrupt there. So it's an ongoing basis, but we are tallying up those numbers as well. Unfortunately, we have no one to cry to in terms of the money that we've lost, and that's why we were compelled into such a corner to actually act in the manner we are acting, which is this disciplinary process that is unfolding.
So bus services remain suspended for now?
I wouldn't say suspended, I would say bus services remain disrupted by the illegal strike.
Okay, thank you very much. That's from Putco. They're just giving us an update there, Sally. But as you can see, just maybe step out of shot, these are some of the police officials that have actually come in here to ensure that there is no further damage that does unfold from this area here. Just a few minutes ago, when speaking to some of the bus drivers, they did say that this bus strike, unprotected strike, will continue again tomorrow from the wee hours of the morning, and also there's also that reliance on those representations that have been made by some of the bus strikers who are hoping that they may not be on the firing line by Putco company. So it will be interesting to see how tomorrow does unfold, but we have been told that this unprotected strike will continue, and therefore having a ripple effect on the bus services that are expected to continue as well tomorrow.
Yeah, and as Linda was explaining, it seems those dismissals are happening. They're following process, but for those who haven't given a plausible reason as to why they've not been at work for the last 6 days, they are going to be replaced. But it sounds to me like it's going to be another few days of disruption in terms of Putco making some sort of plan to get a new workforce in place.
Yeah, definitely. It seems as though much more still has to be done in terms of ensuring that the services do come up again and continue to transport some of these commuters to their various destinations. For now, commuters have resorted to using alternative transportation such as the BRTs, Rea Vaya, and of course the taxi services around this area. But the bus drivers as well saying that it seems as though they may now also interrupt some of those services which have been an alternative mode of transport to some of these commuters as well. Seems as though they have a very serious and strong message to try to drive across to the Putco management. Of course, speaking to that back pay they requested from 2020, which they allege there was a 6% increment that was on the table and has since been retracted by management. Currently, this matter is also before the courts, and that Interact as well will tell a different story once there is a particular judgment speaking to that matter. But it seems as though things may unfold and become dirty tomorrow, as these bus drivers have also said that they will be beefing up their numbers when coming here to the depot tomorrow. So the police enforcement is actually on high alert to ensure that there is no further damage that does occur, and that some of these buses are not torched as well, and ensuring that workers who may be coming here tomorrow are protected and that the safety of everyone here is prioritized.
Yeah, absolutely, very important. It was a small group that were burning tyres and throwing rocks outside the depot today. But as you say, if those numbers swell, it could become very problematic indeed. Thank you so much for that update this evening. That's our reporter, Pule Letshwiti-Jones, coming to us live from New Canada. Now let's